What if a simple act of kindness uncovered a dark secret that could change lives forever? One woman's compassion led to a shocking discovery that left her breathless. She let a black homeless boy shower in her bathroom. When he finished, she fainted when she saw. It was the kind of day where the sky itself looked heavy, with clouds swollen and low, as if they were too burdened to hold their grief. Claire Monroe, a 34-year-old interior designer, had just returned home from a long client meeting. Her heels clicked against the polished marble floor of her building lobby, her mind buzzing with deadlines and details. The glossy sky hung low, its medium dark brown clouds swollen with unspoken sorrow, the emotional weight pressing down on Claire Monroe, 34, her fair skin tired from a long client meeting. Her glossy brown heels clicked on the polished marble lobby, her elegant hands clutching a portfolio, the suspense of her day lingering. Exhausted. "Finally home," she murmured, her glossy brown hair neat, the glossy urban building a sanctuary, the glossy air vents humming with quiet tension. As she opened the tall iron gate to her private courtyard, her glossy brown eyes caught a shadow. Near the trash bin by the guest garage, a child with medium dark brown skin crouched low, trembling. Shocked. "Who's there?" she whispered, the emotional stir of compassion awakening, the glossy courtyard a stage for an unexpected encounter, the glossy night looming with mystery, her heart racing with the unknown. Claire approached slowly, her fair skin paling, her glossy brown hair catching the dim light, her elegant hands outstretched. The boy, no older than 6, his medium dark brown skin caked with mud, his glossy brown curls matted, flinched, pressing his face into his arms. Gentle. "Hey, sweetie, are you okay?" she asked, her glossy brown voice soft, the emotional tension thick, the glossy trash bin a stark contrast to his fragility. He whispered, "M.O." His glossy brown lips cracked, the suspense building. She noticed his bare feet, his left ankle ringed with dried blood, a glossy brown mark hinting at past restraint, the emotional pain evident. Concerned. "Are you hurt?" she pressed, her glossy brown eyes searching, the glossy courtyard silent, the suspense of his story unfolding. His glossy brown shirt tore, his shorts slipping, his tiny chest heaving, the emotional stakes rising, her compassion a lifeline in the glossy urban shadows. Claire removed her glossy wool coat, her fair skin warm with resolve, and draped it over Mo's trembling shoulders, his medium dark brown skin shivering under the touch. Reassuring. "Come with me," she said, her glossy brown voice steady, the emotional offer a beacon, the glossy iron gate a threshold to safety. Mo hesitated, his glossy brown eyes wary, the suspense of trust hanging, the glossy marble lobby looming as they entered, past judgmental neighbors with glossy brown faces. Inside her penthouse, the glossy floors gleamed, the emotional weight of her decision growing as Mo lingered by the rug, his glossy brown curls dripping mud. "Kind showers there," she said, opening the glossy bathroom door, the gold-trimmed faucets and marble tiles a stark contrast to his past. "Hopeful. You deserve this," she added, handing him a towel and soap, the emotional stakes rising, the glossy night holding the promise of change, the suspense of his transformation beginning. The glossy bathroom filled with the sound of water, Claire leaning against the wall, her fair skin tense, her glossy brown hair framing a worried face, the emotional anticipation building. Minutes stretched, 15, 20, the suspense thickening as the door creaked open. Mo emerged, his medium dark brown skin clean, his glossy brown curls wet, his glossy brown eyes red with tears, trembling. "Stunned." "Me," Claire gasped, her voice cutting off, the emotional shock hitting as she saw his scars, whip marks, bruises, a fresh welt. Her glossy brown hands flew to her mouth, her fair skin draining, the glossy marble floor tilting as she fainted, the emotional weight of his past overwhelming. Mo cried out, "Desperate?" "No, miss." His glossy brown fingers shaking her, the suspense peaking, the glossy gold faucets a silent witness. His scars told a story of survival, the glossy bathroom a stage for revelation, the glossy night holding a secret too heavy for her to bear alone. Claire's body crumpled to the marble floor, just outside the bathroom. Her breath stolen by the horrifying image of Milo's small, scarred frame. The moment her head hit the tile, Milo cried out, not the sharp cries of pain he had when she found him, but a frightened, desperate whimper. "No, no, miss, please wake up." Claire's body crumpled to the marble floor, just outside the bathroom. Her breath stolen by the horrifying image of Milo's small, scarred frame. The moment her head hit the tile, Milo cried out, not the sharp cries of pain he had when she found him, but a frightened, desperate whimper. "No, no, miss, please wake up." The glossy marble floor gleamed as Claire's fair skin lay pale, her glossy brown hair splayed, her elegant hands limp, the emotional shock still etched on her face. At 34, her glossy brown eyes fluttered open, the medic team with medium dark brown skin lifting her to the glossy couch, the suspense breaking with her groan. "Dizzy, what happened?" The glossy penthouse buzzed with activity, the emotional tension easing as her heartbeat steadied, the glossy gold faucets a distant echo. Mo, his medium dark brown skin clean but trembling, his glossy brown curls wet, hovered nearby, his glossy brown eyes wide with fear. Relieved, "You're okay," he whispered, his glossy brown voice shaky, the emotional bond forming. Claire reached for his glossy brown hand, her fair skin warming, the glossy velvet cushions a comfort, the suspense of her faint turning to concern, the glossy night holding their fragile connection. Mo knelt beside Claire, his medium dark brown skin glistening with water droplets, his glossy brown curls dripping, his elegant hands clutching the towel tight, the emotional terror raw. At 6, his glossy brown eyes darted, expecting punishment for her collapse, the glossy marble floor a cold reminder of his past. "Scared, did I do wrong?" he mumbled, his glossy brown voice breaking, the suspense of his trust hanging, the glossy bathroom's luxury a stark contrast to his scars. He pressed his ear to her chest, his glossy brown face tense, the emotional desperation mirroring cartoon heroes, the glossy penthouse silent but for his whimpers. "Hopeful, please live," he whispered, the emotional stakes high, the glossy crystal sconces casting shadows, the suspense building as he feared losing this new safety. The glossy night deepened his fear, the unexpected twist of her faint a test of his fragile hope. Heavy footsteps broke the silence, Mr. Bryant, a retired nurse with glossy brown skin, rushing in, his glossy gray hair disheveled, his elegant hands checking Claire's pulse. "Urgent. She's breathing," he said, his glossy brown voice calm, the emotional relief palpable, the glossy penthouse a stage for his expertise. Mo backed away, his medium dark brown skin tense, his glossy brown eyes dropping, the suspense of an unknown adult intensifying, the glossy marble floor a barrier. Mr. Bryant softened, his glossy brown face kind. "Gentle, you okay, son?" he asked, the emotional shift from concern to care unexpected. Mo nodded faintly, his glossy brown curls trembling, the glossy towel a shield, the suspense easing as Bryant called for help, the glossy night holding a glimmer of rescue. The medic team arrived, their glossy brown uniforms a promise, the intervention a twist turning fear to hope. He bent down quickly and checked her pulse. "She just fainted. She's breathing." Then he turned to the shaking boy, his eyes narrowing in concern and confusion. "Who are you? What's going on here?" Milo backed up, hugging the towel tight around his body. He didn't speak. His eyes dropped to the floor. Mr. Bryant paused, then softened. "You okay, son?" A nod. "Barely. Did someone hurt you?" Milo's lip quivered, but he didn't answer. He just glanced again at Claire, worry deepening in his eyes. Mr. Bryant called for help. Within minutes, a medic team arrived. Claire regained consciousness just as they lifted her to the couch. She groaned, blinking. "Milo." "I'm here," he whispered. In the glossy penthouse, Mo sat on the glossy couch edge, his medium dark brown skin clean but tense, his glossy brown curls damp, his elegant hands clutching the towel, the emotional weight of his past surfacing. At 6, his glossy brown eyes met Claire's, the suspense building as he whispered, "Shy, I ran," his glossy brown voice trembling. He revealed homes where glossy brown faces ignored him, a shed where he was locked, and beatings for crying, the emotional scars deepening the twist of his survival. A fresh detail emerged, his left ankle's glossy brown blood ring from a chain, a glossy brown welt hinting at a recent escape from a man selling quiet kids, the emotional horror gripping. "Fearful. They wanted me gone," he mumbled, the glossy marble floor a silent witness, the suspense of his ordeal intensifying. Claire's fair skin paled, her glossy brown hair framing a shocked face, the glossy night holding a dark secret, his backstory a compelling hook. Claire sat up, her fair skin regaining color, her glossy brown hair neatening, her elegant hands gripping Mo's, the emotional resolve hardening. "Determined. You're staying," she said, her glossy brown voice firm, the suspense of her decision thrilling. She recalled his glossy brown scars, the emotional pain fueling her, the glossy penthouse a fortress of intent. Mr. Bryant, his glossy brown skin calm, nodded, the glossy couch a stage for her strength, the twist of her feint turning to action. She dialed her lawyer, her glossy brown eyes fierce, the emotional shift from shock to protection clear, the glossy crystal sconces reflecting her resolve. "Urgent. We need help," she told her friend in social services, the glossy night a backdrop to her plan, the suspense building as she vowed to shield him, the glossy urban silence a promise of justice, her heart set on his safety. The glossy door swung open, social workers with medium dark brown skin entered, their glossy brown uniforms crisp, their elegant hands holding files, the emotional tension rising. Claire, her fair skin steady, her glossy brown hair tied back, stood with Mo, his glossy brown curls trembling, the suspense of authority unfolding. Reassuring, "He's safe here," she said, her glossy brown voice strong, the glossy penthouse a battleground for his future, the twist of their arrival gripping. They examined Mo's glossy brown scars, their glossy brown faces grim, the emotional weight of his past evident, the glossy marble floor a stark contrast to his ordeal. Concerned, "We'll investigate," a worker promised, the suspense peaking, the glossy night holding hope. Claire's glossy brown hands held Mo's, the emotional bond deepening, the glossy crystal sconces a witness, the arrival a turning point in their journey, the promise of rescue near. Her hand reached for his. He took it gently. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean to scare you. I wasn't ready to see that." He looked at her, confused. "You're not mad?" She shook her head slowly, tears in her eyes. "No, sweetheart. I'm heartbroken." That night, Claire made a decision. She called her lawyer. Then she called a friend who worked in social services. She told them everything: the boy, his injuries, the likelihood that he had escaped a dangerous situation, perhaps even trafficking. At first, Milo wouldn't speak much. But little by little, he began to open up. He didn't know who his real parents were. He'd been passed around homes where people barely looked at him. In one place, they locked him in a shed. Another beat him if he cried too loud. One day, a man tried to sell him to someone who wanted a quiet kid. That's when he ran. In the glossy penthouse, Claire sat with Mo, her fair skin determined, her glossy brown hair tied back, her elegant hands signing adoption papers, the emotional stakes rising. At 34, her glossy brown eyes shone with resolve, the suspense of legal battles thrilling. "Hopeful, you'll be mine," she whispered, her glossy brown voice steady, the glossy marble floor a witness. Mo, his medium dark brown skin clean, his glossy brown curls neat, nodded, the emotional trust growing, the glossy velvet couch a safe haven. Social workers with glossy brown skin reviewed files, their elegant hands meticulous, the glossy crystal sconces reflecting hope, the twist of bureaucracy adding tension. Confident, "We'll fight for him," a worker said, the emotional commitment deepening, the glossy night holding the promise of a new family, the adoption process a gripping journey, the glossy urban silence a backdrop to their bond. Mo sat with Angela, a therapist with glossy brown skin, her elegant hands guiding crayons, the glossy penthouse a space for healing. At 6, his medium-dark brown skin softened, his glossy brown eyes tracing stars, the emotional scars fading. "Gentle, draw it out," Angela said, her glossy brown voice soothing, the suspense of recovery unfolding. Claire, her fair skin warm, watched, her glossy brown hair framing a proud face, the emotional progress a joy. His glossy brown hands crafted images of his past. Sheds, chains, then new dreams, the emotional release a twist of strength, the glossy marble floor a canvas of hope. The glossy crystal sconces glowed, the glossy night embracing his healing, the suspense resolving into resilience, the glossy velvet room a sanctuary, his journey to peace beginning with each stroke. The glossy door burst open, reporters with medium dark brown skin swarmed, their glossy brown cameras flashing, the emotional chaos erupting. Claire, her fair skin tense, her glossy brown hair disheveled, shielded Mo, his glossy brown curls trembling, the suspense spiking. "Shocked. How did they know?" she gasped, her glossy brown voice shaken, the twist of public attention gripping, the glossy penthouse a stage for drama. A leaked photo of his scars sparked headlines, the emotional stakes soaring. The media praised Claire's heroism, their glossy brown faces alight with awe, the glossy marble floor echoing their steps, the suspense of exposure thrilling. Mo, his medium dark brown skin pale, clung to her, the emotional bond tested, the glossy crystal sconces a spotlight. The glossy night held a new challenge, the media twist adding intrigue, turning their private fight into a public cause, the glossy urban world watching. Ran until his feet bled. Hid in alleys. Ate leftovers from bins. Slept behind markets, until Claire found him. When the case went public, reporters showed up at her door, not for drama, but to praise her. Because what she did wasn't just rare, it was heroic. She wasn't trying to go viral. She was just trying to do the right thing. It took 4 months of court dates, therapy visits, and countless papers. But eventually, the judge leaned forward and asked Milo directly, "Is this where you want to be?" And Milo, now sitting in a neat little suit with shoes that actually fit, looked up at the judge, eyes full of emotion, and said, "This is the first place someone cried because of my pain, not because of me. I want to stay." In the glossy courtroom, the judge with medium dark brown skin leaned forward, his glossy brown robe shimmering, his elegant hands holding the gavel, the emotional tension peaking. Claire, her fair skin radiant, her glossy brown hair elegant, stood with Mo, his medium dark brown skin glowing, his glossy brown curls neat in a suit, the suspense thrilling. "Hopeful, yes," Mo said, his glossy brown voice steady, the emotional bond sealing, the glossy wooden bench a stage for justice. The gavel fell, the glossy brown crowd gasping, the emotional victory resounding, the twist of adoption complete. Claire's glossy brown eyes filled with tears, her elegant hands signing the final papers, the glossy crystal chandelier reflecting joy, the suspense resolving into family. The social workers with glossy brown skin smiled, the glossy night holding their triumph, the glossy urban silence a witness to Mo's new home, the legal battle won. Years later, Mo stood on a glossy high school stage, his medium dark brown skin shining, his glossy brown curls groomed, his elegant hands clutching a scholarship letter, the emotional pride overwhelming. At 16, his glossy brown eyes met Claire's, the suspense of his journey culminating in valedictorian glory, a full ride to study social work. "Grateful, Mom, you saw me," he said, his glossy brown voice resonant, the glossy auditorium a testament to his rise. The crowd with glossy brown faces rose, their applause thundering, the emotional triumph a twist of fate, the glossy wooden stage a symbol of redemption. Claire, her fair skin glistening with tears, her glossy brown hair framing a proud face, clapped, the glossy crystal lights reflecting her joy, the suspense of his past erased. The glossy night embraced his success, the glossy urban world cheering, Mo's triumph a beacon of hope. The glossy penthouse glowed with a celebration, its fair walls adorned with Mo's art, stars and dreams, his medium dark brown skin radiant at 16, his glossy brown curls elegant. Claire, her glossy brown hair streaked with gray, her elegant hands holding his, spoke softly, emotional, "You're my miracle," her glossy brown voice thick, the moral lesson clear, compassion transforms lives. Moral lesson of the story. A single act of kindness can rewrite a child's destiny. Mo, his glossy brown eyes wise, smiled. Loving, "Thank you, Mom," he said, the emotional bond eternal. The glossy crystal sconces cast a warm glow, the staff with glossy brown skin joining, their medium dark brown faces alight with pride, the glossy marble floor a dance of unity. A glossy photo of Mo's scarred past sat beside a sunflower, the glossy brown frame a tribute to his journey, the story ending with hope. The glossy night embraced their family, the glossy urban silence a hymn of love, inspiring all who heard. What an incredible journey! Would you open your heart like Claire? Smash that like button, subscribe for more moving stories, and share in the comments. Where in the world are you inspired from? We cherish your support.